gosh, it has been a while. Hello, my name is Colton. I haven't been in your house in a minute. A lot has changed, hasn't it? I'm blonde now. I'm fine. Thank you for asking. I am fine. I was fine before. I'm going through some shit. But Biden won. You guys, we solved racism. I'm sure everything's going to turn out wonderful in 2021 and 22 and 23 and 24. It's going to be fine. Okay, hey, what a weird way to start a show without even saying the show's name. Welcome to Isolation Comedy by Comedy Wham. We've been doing this since the beginning of the pandemic, and it looks like we're going to be doing this for a while. You guys, we have a great show tonight. Today, we have condensed our longer show into a little bit of a little fun packed show, a little six comedian, a little fun show. You guys, we have an amazing show. And if you're here and you haven't paid, that's the right amount. You're doing it exactly right. This is not a stand-up comedy show. If it was, I'd be telling you to shut the fuck up and sit in your seat and order 2 drinks. But now I want you to order 10 drinks and yell at your screen. That's what I want. And hop in that chat or that chat, wherever. I don't know screens. Get in there, introduce yourself, say hey, tell me what you're up to. How are you staying sane 10 months in? Yes, it's been 10 months. I don't know how long it's been, but I'm sure that it's too long. How about that? I have other things to say. Oh, yes. Comedy Wham does not take any money. If you Venmo, if you're like, oh, I love these comedians, but I don't know which one to give to, Venmo Comedy Wham, and they will distribute it evenly. If you are watching a comedian and you're like, wow, I don't know how to talk to them or tell them that they have nice hair, my Venmo is right there, and you can write whatever you want because I read every message attached to money. It's my rule. It's my golden rule, and I'll always do it. So you can be sure I can do that. All right, that's been that. Oh my God, you guys. Quarantine, right? It's been hard. We all got a paddleboard. We all got a dog. We all got a therapist. And then that therapist made us read that fucking book, right? The 5 love languages, because apparently we're not loving each other, right? You know what I'm talking about? No one else reads in here. I know it's there's someone out there virtually watching this being like, I had to read that fucking book too. It's called the 5 love languages. There's like touch, gifts, acts of service. There's other types of loves. Mine's just 69. I do it every day if I can. Every time I'm doing it, I'm just like, oh, it's far away. You look at me. Oh, is for that other hole you see. I always see the asshole. This vagina. So a little bit about me. Grew up gay. Still am. Still doing that. I I also grew up Christian. Oh Lord, I lift your name on high. Lord, I love to sing your praises. I know you guys know the song. I'm not a big fan of God. Not a big fan of my pastor. He was what I call a lazy motherfucker. He would only write half of his speeches, and then the other ones he would just do that like voodoo talk. You know what I'm talking about? The like a halapaloo, a halapaloo, and I mean that's just fucking lazy. It's like if I was like, "Hey guys, what's up with airplanes? Halakaloo, halakabaloo What? You guys don't think so? Wow, my energy tonight is what I'd consider manic. But I'm fine. I do promise it's not manic energy. It's Avery Brewing. They give me money to say this every time. So let me just say I'm lying again. They don't give me any money, but they could. Hey, Avery, are you watching this? We can work out a deal. And if not, just Venmo me. And it looks like we can post humanously. What's that word? Anyways, I'm not a lawyer. I am your host for tonight, though, and we have an amazing show. So if you guys would please please make some noise in your own goddamn home, okay? Tell your neighbors to get inside to watch this fucking show because COVID numbers are spiking and you are doing the responsible thing tonight, all right? You are a hero, and these comedians are some of the funniest fucking people you've ever seen, all right? This next person, this I would consider first. That's a self judgment for what I just did. But hey, the first comedian that you're gonna see tonight, he has a podcast called the Co. Oh no, it's not called the Co-host. He's just a co-host, a co-host of Uncommonwealth Podcast. Give it up for Adam Mueller.
Hey, all right. It's good to be here. I'm so confused. I don't know what just happened. I was under the impression I was logging into a Sex Anonymous meeting. A potato, I suppose, I guess. No, it's good. This is fun. It's good to be here. I was on time. I've been late for a lot of stuff recently, and I think it's because I have too many streaming services, right? Like I've got my Netflix, I've got my Hulu, I've got my sister's webcam. Not my actual sister. It's just the name of the site. I'm sure some of you are on it. Oh boy. I'm coming to you from New York. But I didn't grow up in New York. I'm an immigrant. But I'm from Canada, so no one cares. I'm an immigrant the way sweatpants are pants. The way curling is an Olympic sport. The way an iPad is a computer. I mean, sure it is, but it's also very user-friendly. I immigrated here when I was 17, and all I brought was like my drive and my ambition and my vaccine history. Basically, I came with nothing. Everything else was shipped. I don't know. I grew up in Western Canada in Alberta. You guys probably know Alberta because it's the Texas of Canada. Right? It's got cowboys and oil and a 1,000-kilometer unsecure border with Montana. Montana, or as my dad says, Canada's Mexico. Or as the Mexicans say, we tunneled too far. Okay, that joke does require an understanding of geography and tunneling. I know when people find out I'm from Canada, they always have something to say. They're like, oh, you're from Canada. That means you're nice and polite and apologetic. Actually, I'm not. Sorry. I was once on a date with a woman from Connecticut, and she said, and I told her I grew up in Canada, and she was like, wow, my last boyfriend was from South Africa. Okay. And then she said, before that, I dated an Australian guy. And my college boyfriend was from New Zealand. And I was like, well, I wasn't expecting someone with a Commonwealth fetish. But here we are. Okay, that joke required an understanding of British colonialism and fetishes. Really. Biggest adjustment moving from Canada to the US is getting off the metric system. I weigh over twice as much now. I keep jogging too far, and it takes forever for water to boil. On the other hand, a lot of women used to be intimidated by 22 centimeters. All right. Someone's going to do that conversion. I will save you the time. 22 centimeters. It's 0.000167 miles. A little bit more about me. I started comedy a little later in life than most, and starting stand-up comedy at 40 is like starting to eat kale during the heart attack. You may as well try anything, right? I started comedy because a life coach told me to. Yeah, I told that to a friend of mine, and she was like, wow, I didn't know you'd hit rock bottom. I was like, rock bottom? I'm not the life coach. Not yet. And I was thinking today how it's interesting that sometimes a brand just comes to represent like the product that it is, and the name changes to the brand's name. Like tissues became known as Kleenex, or copies became known as like Xeroxes, or porn stars became known as stepsisters. It's a very impressive transformation. That's all I'm saying. We all know about the election. Part of New Jersey legalized marijuana. So slowly, state by state, marijuana is getting legalized. Can every state just do it and get it over with? So when we're traveling, it's way less confusing. Also, it's funny to me that like as a kid, I was told that pot was a gateway drug, and it turns out that's just a lie. So it's probably also a load of crap that the best birth control is abstinence. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the best birth control is a unibrow and a chess set. It's my experience anyway. I was an ugly child. In my 20s, I had a very specific type, the opposite of whomever I was dating. So if I was dating a brunette, my type was blonde. If I was dating a short woman, my type was tall. If I was dating like a chess grandmaster, my type was also blonde. I'm straight. Was that probably obvious? I don't know. I know I'm straight because I always switch back to straight porn before I finish. Isn't that the rule? I love all the sexualities. My favorite is sapiosexual. That's where you're attracted to people that are intelligent. I just think that's such a clever way of saying you're not into blondes. That was two blonde jokes very close together. What are you going to do? I'm getting older. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't like it one bit. Last year, I had a laser procedure and I'm still wearing glasses. But no more pubes. Oh, boy. I do CrossFit. Some of you won't believe me because I've been up here for 6.5 minutes and I'm only mentioning it now. The rest of you won't believe me because that's all I'm going to say about it. That's all I'm going to say about CrossFit. I'm sitting down. You can't really see all of me, but I'm 5'9.5", and I'm always amazed how many guys who are shorter than me are 5'10". And like I've never met a guy who's 5'11". Just a bunch of 6-footers and an occasional 5'12". Which is always weird. I'm fine with what I look like. I was once told by a now ex-girlfriend, she told me I looked like the human form an alien would take to blend in. Which I took as a compliment because she's saying I fit in. That's all I ever wanted was to fit in. I've been with my girlfriend now for a few years. I would say a few. She would say like 9 or whatever. And a few years ago, a marriage came up, and she was like, Adam, let's just get married. What's the worst that can happen? It doesn't work, and we get divorced. And for you, 40 and divorced is way less creepy than 40 and never married. And I thought about it, and I think she's right. So now I tell everyone I'm divorced. No one has ever asked to see the paperwork. That felt a little too real, I think, maybe. I don't know. I'm glad we're together. I've never liked dating. I've never liked first dates. I always feel like I'm getting interviewed. I was once on a first date, and before we even sat down, she pulled out a piece of paper where she had pre-written a list of questions. And the first question was like very benign, like, what's your favorite place to go on vacation? And then it got weird. Then she was like, have you ever paid for sex? I was like, no, I owe a lot of hookers money. Then she was like, if you were a vegetable, what kind of vegetable would you be? And I said, the kind that would want you to pull the plug. And then she was like, if you were in love with a woman, would you help her dispose of a body? And I was like, well, I'd drive her to the clinic. I'd pay half. Don't judge me. We don't even know if it's mine. I don't know. All my friends have gotten into documentaries. Everyone I know is balls deep into documentaries. And they keep trying to get me to watch them. And when they ask, they'll be like, oh, you got to see this one. I'm like, oh, yeah. Follow the money. And they're like, yeah, because that's true of every documentary. If you want to pretend you've seen it, just say, oh, yeah, you got to follow the money. They'll be like, yeah. My friend wants me to watch this documentary about Area 51. And I'm just like, I don't care about Area 51. I am, however, very curious about areas 1 through 50. Aren't those the doors we should be knocking on? Area 51 is a smokescreen. It's a distraction. It's the government saying, look, aliens, and everybody looks. And then meanwhile, over here, a Triceratops walks by and goes into a hangar. They're tricking us. That's all I'm saying. I'll end with this. I caught up with a good friend of mine recently, and she said she'd spent the quarantine getting in touch with her inner goddess. I think that's kind of cool, right? Because a woman in touch with her inner goddess probably does yoga, is empowered, knows when Mercury's in retrograde. But ladies, if you ever hear a guy say he's in touch with his inner god, run. He's just trying to sleep with you or get you to join his cult where he gets to sleep with you. Guys don't have inner gods. They have insecurities. Like a woman in touch with her inner goddess has a crystal for healing. A guy in touch with his inner god has a crystal for smoking. All right, you guys have been so much fun. I'm Adam Mueller. Thank you so much for having me.
Adam Mueller wrote 3 blonde jokes for me. That's pretty fun. Wow, he wrote those tonight. And I think it's possible that he wrote it for somebody's birthday. It's your birthday. I don't know the whole song, and I think they're all copyrighted anyways. Hey guys, this next comedian, it's his birthday. Okay, so if you wanted to show some extra love and you didn't know really where to go, I would say PayPal. PayPal's a really good place for birthdays. You can PayPal Comedy Wham, and then we'll give it to him. Or you could just Venmo him a really dirty message. Is that okay for me to say? I don't know. We'll find out. He was also a semi-finalist in the funniest comedian in Texas. So he's not just his birthday. It's not like a make-a-wish for birthdays. I don't know what that would look like, but it could look like this. Give it up for Chris Goulon.
As Colton said, it is my birthday. Can I please get a round of applause for that? Yes. I am 38 years young today. I don't need a birthday to remind me how old I am. My body does that. Just the other day, my daughter kicked the ball to me. I stopped it with my leg and threw my back out. Yeah, so that's where I am at in life. I did have a pretty stressful week. The person that I voted for didn't win. Personally, I think Selma Hayek is hotter than Scarlett Johansson, but the internet disagreed with me. Now, tensions were pretty high, though. I was at a gas station, and a bald-headed individual with tattoos on his face approached me. And he said, "Hey, homie, who'd you vote for?" And it threw me off because I've never met a politically aware cholo. But I was scared. So I told him I voted for the old white guy with the shady past. See, he's confused. Gave me enough time to get the hell out of there. So I am originally from New York City, but I live here in San Antonio, Texas. And it's blessed me with 2 languages. I can speak Ebonics and Republican. In New York, I would say things like son, dead ass, facts. In Texas, I say good morning, y'all. Bless your heart. Make America great. You know, whatever keeps my son in that good school district that he's in. I'm not really political. I don't give a fuck what you care about. One of the things that we did have to deal with here in Texas, though, is racism. Racism is pretty bad down here. I had my first encounter with racism at a bar recently. This guy lost his wallet. And he said, I know you stole it because you're Hispanic. And it threw me off. I'm like, damn, Hispanic. That's offending. I stole it because I'm from Queens, New York. You can't leave a wallet just laying around me. It's going to get taken every time. I do have 2 kids. And I'm really, really nervous about their future because my son, I know he's going to be a lawyer. And I got to save for law school. And my daughter, I know she's going to need my son's services at some point in her life. She's a terror, man. She's only 2. My son is 10 years old. My daughter's 2. I think I'm raising my son to be too privileged, though. Like, he doesn't even know that he's Hispanic. And I didn't find this out till recently that we were at Walmart. And there was nothing but Hispanic people there, and he looked really uncomfortable. He was clutching all his stuff, and he's like, I said, are you okay? He said, I want to get out of here. I can't believe I'm the only white person in here. And I said, you are amongst your people. If you see a wallet, let me know. He said, I can't do that. That's illegal. My daughter jumped in and said, tell me where to go. No. 2020 has been a rough year for my son. He just found out that Santa wasn't real. I'm having a hard time with Santa being the cop-out. Like, for all the gifts that I can afford, Santa's the one that's going to pay for them. So I just told him, guy, this is the year Santa got COVID. It's over. He's dead. I didn't agree. I didn't agree with the whole idea of Santa. I didn't grow up with a Santa Claus. The idea of a white man with a sack full of high-priced items coming through my neighborhood and making it out alive, not believable. We did have Santa in reverse, though. We called him Atlas. He was the fat guy that came with an empty sack to your house and left with all your high-priced items. Now, but I love being in my kids' lives. The reason is when I was growing up, I didn't have a dad. As a matter of fact, today, I'm older than he was when he passed away. And I'm really angry about it. I'm angry because I didn't have him around growing up. But now that I have kids, I get it. I understand why he left. I want to bounce. Now, but going back to my daughter, I know she was going to be a problem when she got baptized. She took a shit on herself during the baptism. Oh, and the priest stopped. The church was packed. There was 300 people there. And the priest stopped and said, I also do exorcisms as well. So that was my introduction to my daughter. But I know where she gets it from. She gets it from my wife. My wife, she's Hispanic as well. And she's like a volcano. Beautiful to look at, but I know she's going to erupt any moment. We've been married 12 years. I feel like being married to a Hispanic woman should come in like dog years. What is dog years? Like 7, 8? Is it 8, 7? I don't know. 7? I'm confused. Anyway, because do I look like a guy who's been married 12 years or 96? Look at this. I noticed my hairline receding at the engagement pictures. We don't have disposable hair, Colton. I wish I could blonde my shit. Your shit is fabulous.
Thank you. The first compliment.
So my wife and I, we've been married so long that our communication is fantastic. We speak, how can I put this? we're on the same page, just different books. Just like Colton said, I'm reading the 5 love languages, therapist recommended, and she's reading Girl Leave His Ass by Cardi B. And it's real ignorant. Like, it's an audio, so she keeps it on speaker. And I heard chapter 2, The Power of the WAP. Oh, just real ignorant shit in my house. There's things that I do, like I'll ask her questions, and I know the way that she responds is going to mess with me the rest of the day. Like I asked her the other day, am I the biggest you've ever been with? And she said, yes. I've never been with a guy over 200 pounds. Look, I really appreciate spending my birthday with you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you for having me. That's my time.
Thank
Chris Screwlon, it's his birthday, but if he asks you to babysit, don't do it. Even he hates his kids. I love how you're like, the girl's gonna be bad because she's 2, but they're terrible 2s. And I don't know anything more about children. So how about I just bring up the next comedian? This next comedian, you probably seen them on BuzzFeed, just on BuzzFeed. The Epic Chef, First Nations Comedy Experience. What the fuck is that? Maybe she'll tell you. Give it up in your own house for Kat Alvarado.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kat Alvarado. I know you can't tell by looking at me. I am Latina. I'm Latina, but I'm 23, so my kids are grown. Thank you. So exciting. I'm actually Nicaraguan. That's my genre of Latina. And I tried being friends with the Mexican kids growing up in LA, and they were always like, stop making up countries. So sad. So sad, so alone. We have a very tough culture in Nicaragua. Like I told my cousins I wanted to be a vegan. They made me kill a chicken. I wish that wasn't true, but it is. We also just got a dictator. Yeah. Nicaragua just got a dictator. Relatable, am I right? Oh, fun stuff. But yeah, a lot of people don't really know much about Nicaragua. They don't, because they only remember countries they've ziplined in. That's Costa Rica. You're thinking of Costa Rica. Oh, yeah. Actually, if you stand in the southern part of Nicaragua and look towards Costa Rica, you can see the democracy from there. It's beautiful. Yeah, my mom's the Nicaraguan one. My dad's white. They're so different. Like I asked my dad for financial advice. He's like, put your money in a 401k. I asked my mom. She's like, mija, get breast implants. Because then you can have somebody else's 401k. So silly. Gosh. Sometimes we have language barrier issues. Like the other day, I told her I got an IUD. She's like, mija, don't drink and drive. And she raised me pretty conservative too. She always used to say, Katy, don't give away the free samples, okay, mija? Yeah. And I said, but mom, it works for Costco. Solid plan. Yeah. But growing up kind of conservative, I always felt pressure to like get married. And so I got married at 19. Anyone else here? Bad judgment? Anyone? Not good. If you know any teenagers who want to get married, grab them, look them in the eye and be like, you're not in love. It's a sugar high. Took me to my mid-20s to figure out that half of my emotions are digestive issues. Yeah, I was on a date once and my palms were sweaty, my stomach was in a knot, and I was like, oh my gosh, this could be the one. This could be it. And then I took a shit, you guys. Oh my God, it wasn't love. I needed fiber. That's what was happening. Yeah, we eloped. We drove all the way to Vegas and back, and the car broke down. It was the timing belt. You guys, the timing belt that broke. If that's not an omen, I don't know what is. Whew, yeah, it was. Don't get married to a 19-year-old. Every conversation is like, can we get the new Call of Duty? I'm like, no. He's like, can we get a ferret? Can you get a job? Yeah, but then who would take care of the ferret? Ridiculous. And the worst part was we didn't even have a sex life. Which, what? It's crazy because when you're like 18, 19, you want to do it all the time. You're like, oh my God, a skinny woman. Oh my God, a thick woman. Oh my God, a toaster. Everything. But not him because he was addicted to World of Warcraft. That's pretty ironic because that's a game where you're an elf who gets a job. I would try to set the mood. I'd be like, babe, you want some of this? Want some of this? He'd be like, not now. I'm doing a quest. I've got to fight a magical jewel by a cave through an enchanted forest. Like, look, honey, I have a magical jewel. It is right by a cave. You don't even have to go through a forest because I clear cut that shit. Oh gosh, we got divorced because we finished watching everything on Netflix. We didn't have Hulu back then. It was just Netflix. And we were like, I don't know. We're not, what's happening? Oh gosh. And I've been single for a really long time since then. Like, have you ever been single so long you watched all the Forensic Files? Like, I've gotten through the whole cabinet. I got through the warehouse of Forensic Files. It's to the point where I can predict who did it before I start the episode. It was the husband. Pretty much. No, it's kind of terrifying. It's usually the spouse, right? It's usually the spouse who committed the murder. So now I'm on Tinder thinking, if things go south, what's my matchup? Right? Like, I don't date men with abs anymore. No abs. Why? Stabbing is all core. Fact. Also, no athletes. Why? I can't outrun that. No. On my first date, I take the guy up a few flights of stairs. And if he's out of breath at the top, that's a keeper. Cuddly and safe. Great. Oh, yeah. At some point, I was single for so long, I was like, am I even into men? And then I was like, wait, are any of us into men? Like, if we're honest, are we? Oh, gosh. I set Tinder to women seeking women, and turns out that's in California. That's how you meet couples. It's all these couples trying to spice things up a little bit by finding a unicorn. That's what they call it. Third girl. And no one's trying to share a hot guy, mind you. No. It's always a girl who's like, this is Steve. He's really nice. He has a mutual fund. It's his birthday. Also, can you please take a shift? I'm tired of faking it. Orgasms, faking orgasms. That's yeah. I did finally go on a date with a woman. That was nice. She was a great listener. And then I had to listen to her and I was like, oh my God, there's not time for both of us. Like, I understand men now. I get it. Ah, man. I was really working on myself though. When you're single, you're supposed to do that. I was spending $300 a month on hair, makeup, Pilates to find out I was single because of my personality. What? I'm on the hot crazy matrix. That's the idea that the hotter the girl, the crazier she is, and I'm in the middle. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to cause you physical harm, but I know where your exes work. I look them up on LinkedIn. It's easy. It's too easy. But guys, if you ever meet a woman who wears fake eyelashes in the daytime, she's going to murder you. It's a lot of work. I only wear my fake eyelashes if I'm going on a date with a guy who works for Google. Money. Yeah, I think the hot crazy matrix is a thing because the more stuff we have to do for our looks, like the more like frustrating life gets. Like, oh, you have to keep it up. Like, and hair extensions, that's a stranger's hair I put in my hair. That is weird. Like, I couldn't go up to you on the street and be like, "Hi, I like your hair. Can I have some of it? I want to put it in my hair." You'd be like, "Call the cops." That's a serial killer. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Or oh gosh, contouring. There's all this pressure to do contouring now. Like, what? By the way, if you don't know what contouring is, it's when women use makeup to make their faces look completely different. Like that they have high cheekbones, smaller noses, Puerto Rican parents. It's crazy. Oh my gosh. You have to turn into like a Pablo Picasso. Learn depth, go to art school just to look okay on Instagram. It's insane. Right. And then there's feet. Oh my gosh. My ex-boyfriend used to say, "You have such soft feet." I'm like, "Yeah, because I spent an hour scraping them with a cheese grater." Like, honey, that's not Parmesan. Leave that aside. That's not good. Yeah. By the way, that's a double standard is men's feet versus women's feet. Like one of many double standards. Like women's feet have to be like soft and polished and have a hummingbird on all of the toes drawn by a woman who went to art school in her home country. Meanwhile, men's feet look like root vegetables. They do. Men's feet look like something if you took it and you put it in a bowl of holy water under the full moon, it's going to stop your dad from cheating on your mom. Some brujeria right there. Men's feet look like raw ginger root. It's like, ew, no. Oh gosh. Actually, my ex used to say, could you rub my feet? My ex-girlfriend Vicky used to do it. I'm like, yeah, that's because Vicky's a 4. I looked her up on Instagram and she works at Ralph's. I'm gonna end it on this, guys. I'm cool with being single because I'm not in a rush to like have babies or anything like that. I'm just at a point in my life where I want a baby like I want a tattoo. If I wake up with one, I'll keep it. Thank you guys. I'm Kat Alvarado. This has been so much fun.
Cat Alvarado. We need to introduce her to different men. Goddamn, whose feet are you in? Like, the dudes I'm talking to. They're all like, human beings. So, hey, how about you stop dating monsters? Well, that's okay because this next man, he's a bit of a gentleman. He's also the humblest boy I know, and he's so goddamn funny. He told me to say that one time he went to New York and he ate 20 hot dogs. Give it up for JT Kelly.
Oh my gosh. So happy to be here. So thankful. I'm actually at dinner with my girlfriend and another couple right now. So I wasn't like I have a bit. Like I have a skit, right? It's a good internet. I'm gonna get, you know what I mean? I'm gonna get ready. I didn't get ready. That's on me. You know what I mean? That's on me. I was out there, I was enjoying ribs, doing my thing. So I got a whole gotta tuck in the gold chains. I have a little Puerto Rican bow tie is what I call it. I'm gonna, because don't remember the bit that I was going to do with this. This costume was the prime. Okay, it's like a Tarzan thing. I'm sure it was smart. I can't think of it right now, but it was okay. Get in the banana suit. Oh my God, I'm choking. You know, you've heard that story of the girl that goes to the Apollo to tap dance and she starts singing because she forgets to tap dance. She gets so nervous and she ends up being a successful singer. That's what's happening now. Except it's just me kind of hanging dong for the Zoom chat. Here's the thing is I know for a fact that whatever I had written with this was smart. You know what I mean? It was smart. It was, you know that thing about when Socrates is in the cave and he's looking at the shadows and then he turns around? It had a lot to do with that, honestly. Had a lot to do with the shadow metaphor, is what we call it in philosophy group chats I'm in. And another quick thing, you know what I mean? Another quick thing. Don't look at me like that, Conrad. Sorry. I have someone out here filming me. I paid him $300 to be here because there was a whole light show that we're supposed to be doing, but I just can't remember the banana bit. I don't remember what the banana bit was. But I will show you something else that's pretty crazy. What would you say to the Zoom audience, if anyone hasn't left or blocked me, what would you say if I told you that I could stick my entire pinky in my belly button? No? Okay. Completely dead silence response. That's fine. So what would you do? What would you do? Answer me. What would you do if I told you, all stakes on the table, I could stick my entire ring finger in my belly button? Is that a little more interesting? Yeah? A loaded gun on the table. We're playing Russian roulette. Let's do this. The whole ring finger. Check it out. You seeing this? This is not some sort of crazy magic trick. Zoom in, my man. Zoom in, my man. Check it out. Not too far in. I don't want to get them all juiced up. People that get too horny online become criminals. That's a fact. Check it out. You seeing this? Not too close. If I juice them up, they will come after me. They'll be too juiced. You seeing this?
Sorry.
All right. The whole finger inside the belly button. You seeing this? Got a side angle? The whole finger's in there. You understand? You understand that there's the whole finger in the belly button? All right, bring it back out a little bit. Bring it back out a little bit. Okay, perfect. You see that? Now, here's the thing. Some of you guys are thinking, he can't stick his finger in his belly button. He's just hiding his finger in the fat from his tummy. That's what you're thinking, right? You think wrong. I can show you. I can prove. I have a special. I'll bring it out. I'm gonna bring the tube out. I can turn this bitch inside out. Boom. You seeing this? Get the angle. Come in close. Yeah. Little volcano. Yeah. I'm certain. Are you guys seeing this? That's my belly button. Okay. That's a tube. That's a tunnel, baby. It's going all the way through. It goes straight to my beehole. I'm certain. This is a fact. Into conversation. This is a fact. If I put a seed in there, I'm pretty sure I'd poop a little bush or something. You know what I mean? It's just all the way direct through. Honest to God. I think that's my time.
JT Kelly. I'm not too juiced up. I want it to be pressed a little bit more. I want it to be pressed to be juiced. You guys, that's JT Kelly. Oh, wow. Lucky you. How about that? In your own house, nonetheless. Welcome. You guys, you're just joining us. This is Isolation Comedy. It's a bit of a comedy show. We have a couple comedians left. If you need any more information, hop in the chat and I will be sure that somebody will answer your question. All right. I don't know what that is. It's how do I give these people money? I hope that's your question because that sounds like a good thing for us. But if it's not, I hope you're ready to laugh at this next comedian, all the way from Florida, which is as crazy as Texas, I hear. She started a couple months ago, which is probably the hardest time to start comedy. I would say so. Give it up for Morgan Gallo.
What is good, party people? I was also gonna wear a banana hammock, but JT stole my thunder, so I'm not gonna bring it out tonight. I'm so sorry about that. But yeah, I live in Florida, moved here a few years ago. I actually just turned 25, which is kind of cool. You know, my car insurance went down. Now I have more money to spend on drugs, but only the good stuff, you know, like weed, cocaine, Preparation H. Yeah. My money is not as tight as my butthole, so that's good. That's good. But being 25 is dope, you know, because now my dating age range includes every generation. You know, I'm like a universal remote. I can turn anything on. Now that I'm 25, I can get away with dating Gen Z, hooking up with millennials, and being an escort for Gen X.
Let's stay here.
Mm-hmm. And what's that? Oh, your grandfather wants to see a picture of my feet? Okay, boomer. Show me your credit card. I'll show you my big toe. But dating a wide variety of ages can be difficult, you know? My phone doesn't know the difference between daddy, and daddy. So when I want to talk to my real dad, I got to be like, hey Siri, call money bag emoji.
You're gonna come in or not?
I'm just kidding. My dad's contact name is mom's bitch. But I do tend to date older guys. They're a lot more mature, right? And they're not nearly as clingy. They can't leave the premises of their retirement home. And I really like getting pudding licked off me, so it works out. But being 25 freaks me out a little bit. It's the time in my life as a woman where I gotta decide if I'm gonna meet a guy, marry him, spend the rest of my life pretending to have a headache when we go to bed, or if I'm gonna grow up to be the 70-year-old woman who has to oil herself up to squeeze into shapewear and tosses her dusty old cooch at every guy foolish enough to sit next to her at a motel bar. Looks over like, hey, sailor, you ever see a broad tie a cherry stem into a knot using only her tongue? Well, I can't do that, but I can tie these old ass titties into one. That's gonna be me at this point. I would consider myself a feminist, but I don't hate men. You know, you guys have gotten it right in a lot of ways. I've actually learned a lot just from watching men play sports. Like, football taught me how to face my problems head on. UFC showed me how to fight for what I believe in. And men's soccer taught me how to fake cry and pretend I'm more hurt than I actually am. It really comes in handy, you know? Thanks, Cristiano Ronaldo, you handsome fuck. But it's 2020, and I think it's crazy that we still have gender stereotypes. Like, people still think women are unathletic. But that's only because sports are inherently geared towards men's abilities. if you had to compete in a real sport, like shaving your asshole, women would dominate athletics. Have you seen the gymnastics routine a woman puts herself through just to look like a 12-year-old from the waist down? Olympic worthy, gold medal. Man, I was insecure as a kid. I still am, but now like I wear Spanx. And I grew up in Colorado where everyone is super fit and super active. So to compensate, I got a job at a tanning salon. And I worked there in the winter in Colorado. So I stuck out like a Hooters waitress at a cheesecake factory. I progressed through so many shades of orange. I could have been Donald Trump's stunt double. But I was holiday themed at least. Like I had a candy corn orange for October, a pumpkin glow for November. And by Christmas, I was burnt sienna. People usually travel to Colorado to see all the pretty fall colors, but that year they traveled to see the wild orangutan running loose. I didn't even have a cool job at the tanning salon. I was a tanning table technician, which means I baked basic bitches. Tanning table technician is just a fancy way of saying I got minimum wage to clean up strangers' butt crack sweat. And $7.34 an hour is not enough for therapy. I've checked. My job consisted of cleaning the tanning beds, disinfecting the room, and crying. Not particularly in that order, because when we ran out of cleaning solution, I used my tears. But one time my boss told me that the cleaning solution we used could actually kill HIV on contact. So I stole a few bottles and put them in my purse for when I went on dates. You never know when you're gonna need that stuff. But the reason it was so strong is because people sweat like crazy in those tanning beds, you know? Have you ever heard the saying, your sweat is just your fat crying and leaving the body? Whoever came up with that clearly never got a whiff of the perspiration that drips off of a sorority girl on a Sunday morning. Because that's not fat. That's pure vodka and regret. And maybe a little bit of roofie dust. This girl's sweat had such a high alcohol percentage, I got tipsy just licking it. Some people are much easier to clean up afterwards than others. Like one time, this really big 300-pound professional wrestler came in to tan. And as soon as he left, I knew that all I had to do was put an out of order sign on the door. I'm a technician, not a priest, okay? I clean beds. I don't perform exorcisms. My tears aren't that powerful. Even though it was a shitty job, I really did enjoy working there for 3 weeks. And when I quit, I actually kind of missed being surrounded by people that look like Oompa Loompas, which is why I moved to Florida. My name is Morgan Gallo. Thank you guys so much. You've been great.
Oh, Gallo, Morgan Gallo. Hell yeah. And by the way, if you guys want to play a real sport, all right, let's get that waxing game up. I will be in the WNBA version, though. That is the waxing of nether butt area. And I will be dominating for free, basically no salary paid. I do have OnlyFans, though. I do wax my own butt. I just want to say, is that impressive to anybody? Thank you. It is. Well, I remember, no time for an anecdote. A little time for an anecdote, a little time, one time. No time. I checked my watch and actually there's no time for that anecdote.
We want the story.
I can't, there's no time.
Tell us the story.
I watched twice. I can't tell the anecdote. One time, I will tell the quicker version of it. I had my boyfriend try to wax it, and I'll just say he cried. He said, "Oh, hurt you. I don't want to hurt you." And I was like, "Don't, you're not hurting me. Just do it. Just do it." So am I a basketball star? I like to think so. At least a sports boy. I am a sports boy. See, now you guys wish that I didn't have time. What a shitty anecdote. And what a terrible way to bring in an actual NBA star. This guy played in the NBA for 5 years. If you haven't caught his sports games, you should see them. He makes every hoop he ever shoots. He also has a podcast called Not a Fan Podcast. He also runs, I think, Austin Sketch Fest. Give it up for Joe Faina.
Hi, hello, everybody. Welcome to my house. This is where I spend all of my time, just like you. You know, it's so great to be here at Isolation Comedy, where we can be isolated together. You know, people say that Zoom shows still feel kind of weird. Doing comedy on Zoom, that's got to be very strange. How do you even do stand-up comedy like that? But I did something that took some getting used to yesterday for the first time in a long time. I did stand-up outside in front of real people. Have you ever tried doing that? Gross. In front of strangers? Gross. Frankly, I like the show because I can be on my phone the whole time during the show, even during my set. And you would not believe the types of things that I am subtweeting at the moment. Anyway, happy to you know, we're learning all kinds of things about each other. Lots of people talking about relationships, lots of dudes talking about their marriages. I was supposed to be one of those people this year, but I've been in a relationship for a long time, just like everybody else on this show. Who knew that Twitch was the place for sad people in relationships to hang out with each other? But they are, and we're here. If there's any piece of advice that I can really share with you about relationships is that do not plan to have your wedding in March of 2020. I cannot stress this enough. Do not have your wedding planned for the week of St. Patrick's Day in the United States in 2020. I don't recommend it. You are not going to have a good time. You are going to go through all of the fights, but that's about it. So my lady and I, my fiance and I, we are still together. We just decided to take our relationship up a notch and just skip well into the future where we're both just wearing matching sweatsuits all the time. And to be honest, kind of like it. I kind of like the way that quarantine has changed up everyone's clothing choices. My wardrobe at this point can basically be described as biz casual pajamas. And I am here for it. And I don't think I'm ever going back. I don't think I've worn pants in 8 months. And I don't recommend doing it if you haven't tried in a while. I've also learned to be skeptical at this point of anyone who is in shape. What is going on here? How is anybody exercising with any sense of purpose or hope going on? I think that we really should scale back on posting how we are using physical activity to not slowly go insane at home. We know it's not working. But anyway, I'm really happy to talk to anybody that's not my dog today. And thank you everybody for tuning in. So my wife-to-be and I, we have our fights, we have our disagreements still, just like anybody else. Like I'm a big Lakers fan, and it's really great being here in LA when all we wanted to do was riot and burn down cars, and we weren't able to do that. Thanks a lot, government. And I don't think we know when something doesn't go your way in sports, you're like the government's behind that. That's the way I feel. How could they do that to LeBron James? But my fiance disagrees because she's a Celtics fan, and that's what any marriage needs, I think, is a rivalry. And that's our love language, is just two of us shaming each other for liking things that we think are stupid or lame. That's most of what our conversations turn into. at this point. And so if you were around our house, you'll hear people defending weird things that we know are indefensible. You know, no matter what I was into when I was younger, but not into anymore, she just laughs at me. She's like, really? You were into rollerblading? Which I don't think is fair, because yes, I was. But she used to do slam poetry. And so that is like the rollerblading of the performing arts. So don't see why she is giving me flack about things like that. Is there slam poetry? Hey guys, do we know there's slam poetry on Twitch? Don't find out. Don't let me know if there is. I don't think my fragile mind could take that at this point. But another thing that I think is great that I would like to stick with is the face masks. I think it's bullshit that people are fighting over this. Wearing a mask, I kind of like it. It's great. It's nice to be kind of a fun, cool ninja, just kind of walking around town all the time. You know, I'm going to keep it going. I'm going to wear it in all instances. I almost wore it here to the show tonight, mostly because the pandemic has gotten so bad that we might get infected through our computer screens, but you know, safety first. Anyone else just slowly losing your mind? Anyone else get so depressed you just like think about going to church? Anybody else?
No.
No. When people said years ago that Trump was going to change comedy, he's gonna be great for comedy, this is what they meant. And so careful what you wish for, everybody. Oh, what else do I have? Look, I think we're gonna get through it. I think we're gonna survive everything here. I just really can't wait till I can be around all my friends and spit in their mouths. You know, when it's can't wait. We can't wait to do those. You know, when I wear a mask, I just feel like I'm the Shredder from the Ninja Turtles, but like Shredder as an aging hipster. You know what I mean? That's just what I choose to think. It's just so great to be able to mutter things under your breath to people in the grocery store, you know, more than usual. So I don't know why people are so out on wearing masks. Look, doing comedy in my spare room with all of you on this business meeting that we've logged into, right? And look, I'm a comedian. All I have is my integrity, you know. And you know, they say when you get married, you know, people always talk about I married my best friend, and I think that that's really weird because I don't think my friend Matt would go for that. You know, they say like your wife is supposed to be your best friend and your soulmate and your sex partner and your closest family member, legally your closest relative. You two now have the same mother, right? You know, it's like parents always say, it's not like I'm losing a daughter, but more like gaining a son who bangs my daughter now. I can't wait to be a part of this, you know? I'm not even sure how long I've been up here. What is time? You know what I mean? It still feels, I feel spiritually like it's March still, right? That's why when the weather's been changing everywhere, that's just so offensive to me. How dare the planet move on? We're not done. We're not done yet. We're not done yet. The planet is over us. We're all gonna, this is our new reality. This is where we're all gonna be moving forward. Anyway, thank you guys so much. That's all I've got today. I'm probably gonna go head on over to TikTok. Anybody from out of town? Anybody from Parlor? Anybody here from Disney Plus? Can you give me a ride over there afterward? Thank you guys so much. Thanks for tuning in. This is always a fun show. I've loved doing this show. Thanks, Isolation Comedy, everybody, for having me. My name's Joe Faina. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
Joe Pena. What is a beard but almost a mask, right? What if he just he was like, oh, I love the anonymity. It's like, yeah, well, you're almost there. Like if you grew his mustache just down a little bit, that'd be the same thing. I'm just like, I'm just doing a little couple of sketches. I don't know. I'll send you them. I'll send you what I got. It's mostly just beard man masks. Don't worry about them, Joe. I don't have time for them. I don't have time for this. Uh, I love that. I love that. That tool that I'm saying that I don't have time, but technically, I could do this forever. I don't think our producer would the next person. I don't know. We haven't butted heads this hard yet. No, still let it go. I thought he was gonna go like, well, haha. But he that's because I'm supposed to introduce this person because it's our very final comedian. If you're just joining us, that's okay. That's okay. You missed almost the entire show, but you still have time to give me $10,000. You owe it. You owe it big time. Don't be late again, but I understand. I understand, but I don't have time for this. Hey, this next comedian, you've probably seen them on stand up live. I'm sure that's hey, this person, she's gonna tell you all about it. Salty Nut Brewery. That's not in my house. Anarchy, Flappers. That's LA. Hey, you guys give it up for Melissa Carruthers Wilson in your own house. Cut me. Give me the fucking cut.
Hey, are you all having fun yet? Me too. Truth is, I'm a sack of shit, and I just needed to confess that to someone. Not really, I'm not that bad. I do hate it when people infringe upon my pet peeves, though. Like when a guy leaves the toilet seat up intentionally. I forgive you if you do that. I just don't want to feel with your ass. I mean, I have a good heart, but fucked up blood pressure. I know I deserve evil hellfire anytime I'm thinking something really derogatory when I'm upset. And I have a high tolerance for pain too. So I'm thinking when it comes to hell, I might be able to wing it. There's just that fight or flight response that I've been blessed with. So while I know I might deserve to be in hell, I know I'm going to try to escape. Keeps just misunderstand me sometimes. Like if I'm in Alabama where weed and coke are illegal and someone happens to hear me say, I've got 5 on it, maybe I'm talking about my credit score. Like, damn. So let me clear something up. I'm not a fornicator. I'm a concubine. And I'm no medium. I just like to repeat whatever the cute little angel on my shoulder says. And I don't even like to get too tipsy, although I do like to drink enough to disconnect from my body, but not enough to be considered a Jane Doe because hell just sounds too intense. I'm Misty Wilson. Peace out, guys.
Missy Wilson. I really love that angle. It was spooky and Halloween. I did think, what should I be for Halloween? And then I realized what time was. And so next, I don't know. I'm debating whether or not I'm going to show up to Thanksgiving in Halloween costume. Anything to stay alive and feel fresh, but still not doing heroin, like, I'll do it. I'll still feel alive, but heroin is my line. I don't know yours. I think that we all should draw hard boundaries And I all think that we should give a round of applause for all our comedians. You guys, that's been the show. We do this. I'm sure we'll do it again because those fucking COVID numbers. Not to be down, but we'll see you again, fuckers. We haven't stopped since March. Please make a big round of applause for your producers, the people that make this fucking thing happen. Valerie Lopez, Richard Goodwin. Please make it loud in your own goddamn house for Laura Smith. If you would like to donate or just see my ass, I have it on Instagram. I assumed no one was listening, so then I heard a ha. Okay, we're working. If you are gonna have a good night, say yeah.
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 Two people, there you go. Okay. Is call and response at the end? I hear it is. Okay, good night, y'all. Oh, isolation comment. Okay.